Hello everyone and welcome to Knit. If this is your first time with me, my name is Cody, and in today's video we're going to be going over how to make these really cute amigurumi crochet hearts. Obviously Valentine's Day is coming up and I wanted to celebrate it by making quite a few little hearts. In today's video we're going to be doing two sizes of these hearts. We're going to be showing how to make the small version, but I will be uploading also as a screenshot how to make the large version. I did a poll asking if people wanted two different tutorials for this where I actually went over how to do each one, but everybody overwhelmingly said that they should just do it as one pattern because it is essentially the same exact pattern. I just make two different sizes doing the same general idea. So we're going to be doing one size but showing two different ones basically. I hope that makes sense. There will be a PDF for this pattern linked down below on Ravelry, and also I'm trying to get things to go on Lovecrafts, but for some reason the website being really difficult for me trying to get things uploaded on there, so stay tuned for that if you're more of a Lovecrafts person. I'm also going to be uploading it to Kindle and a bunch of stuff. Again, everything will be linked down below. There is also going to be a right-handed versus a left-handed version of this video as well, so if my hook is not in the proper hand for you, then you can go down in the links down below and there will be the correct version or opposite version for you down there. It's a new thing that I'm doing, but it seems like it's really popular, so I'm going to continue doing that. I basically upload the same video, but I invert it so that people can actually see it in the way that makes them most comfortable. Some left-handers it doesn't do anything for, but for a lot of people it actually helps a lot, so that's why I'm doing that. I am also going to be uploading a new version of the whale tutorial that I have up, and that's going to be coming out hopefully later this week. So this will be going up on Thursday. I'm hoping this will be going up on Sunday. I'm trying to do the whole fix myself down to a schedule thing, but who knows how that goes. I made a Valentine's Day whale with some of the yarn that I have. I want to kind of go over some of the yarns that I've used to make these. I am going to be using this beautiful I Love This Cotton by Hobby Lobby. This is in the color red, but for a lot of these I ended up using, these are also from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else, but Crafter's Secret. I found these a while ago, shaded crimson, and then this one would also be perfect for a heart, but I don't have one pre-made here with this color. This is in Valentine's, so again, that would be perfect for a nice little heart. I also made these hearts. I'm gonna pop them over here. They didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them to. So I thought with this color yarn that this would be perfect for Valentine's Day. This is I Love This yarn in the colorway Strawberry Jam. I thought that this would be perfect for it, but the way that it's working up with amigurumi is just it's making some funky looking hearts. I'll go with it, but they weren't my favorite that I did. I'm also going to show that you can do the same exact pattern, but you can do it with this beautiful velvet yarn. Basically, you do the exact same steps and you do the exact same pattern, but instead of a D3 hook, which is what we use for our smaller worsted weight yarn, for this Bernay velvet yarn, I'm using a size I hook. These, again, are my beautiful Furls crochet hooks. I finally found my crochet hook, or my cat allowed me to have it again. I don't know what was happening. I found her playing with it in the middle of my floor, so she like hijacked it or found it and then wanted to let me know where it was. Who knows, but I thought it was underneath the heat register or something because I must have dropped it. Nope, my cat returned it to me. I was deemed worthy. So I'm happy to say that I have my beautiful Furls crochet hook back. I'm so excited. So again, I wanted to show how this pattern looked in the velvet yarn. I think it's really pretty, but it does make for a significantly larger heart. So if that's what you're going for, I definitely would go with a size I or just a couple of sizes below whatever the recommendation is for the size. Do that and you'll get a larger heart. This is the size small, which we're going to be working on today in the velvet yarn as well. So this is the large and this is the small. Also, make sure to go over to our other video. We are doing a giveaway, which will be linked down below, for a Bernie amigurumi doll. I'm going to post a picture up here of what he looks like, but I'm really excited about that. So if you want to get in on that, I believe we're closing that draw on the 7th. Ish. So you still got some time even after I upload this video, so go down there if you're interested in that. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so for today's video, you're going to need some worsted weight yarn or velvet yarn, depending on what you want to work with. Again, I'm going to be working with some worsted weight yarn. Use the right size hook for the right size yarn. I'm going to be using my beautiful Furls crochet hook, any size D3 or 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. I am in love with this. I'm a Furls affiliate, but I was a fan of Furls long before I begged to become an affiliate. So again, links are down below if you want that. We're also going to be using some polyfill. If you have a pound bag of this, that's going to be more than enough from what you need. I wanted to show a quarter size reference so that you can get an idea of how big these are versus how small you might think that they are. I've been trying to put the quarter in there as reference because that helps a lot of people out. You're also going to need a darning needle. I have 5 million of them over there. So I've got a darning needle, polyfill, my D3 hook, and just some nice worsted weight size 4 yarn. So that is all you're going to need for this project. I'm pretty excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So right here, I'm going to pop up a couple screenshots of what the general pattern is. Again, you can get a PDF for this if you want a printable version. Kindle, Lovecrafts, Ravelry, all of that linked down below. But to generally give you an idea, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating 2 little separate tops. So for the size small, which is what we're going to be creating today, you're going to make a ring, increase up to 12 by increasing every single one of those stitches, and then you're going to go around for 2 rounds. That you're going to do twice. And then we're essentially going to put those 2 together. And again, I'm going to show how to do all of this step by step, but I'm just giving a general overlay of what we're going to be working on. And then once that has gone around for 1 round, you're going to basically have 24 stitches that you're then going to decrease 3 stitches every single round until you get down to 6. Now I'm going to continue on with my staggering versus my stacking method, which I have explained in other videos. I will link my stacked versus staggering video down below, but basically we're just going to make it so that our increases are all staggered and not on top of each other, and that will make it so that this looks a lot less like it has lines going down. And I really like how when you decrease 3 stitches per round, it tapers off into a triangle shape. So that's how we get that shape basically. And for the large version, you're going to single crochet 6, increase to 12, then increase again up to 18. So single crochet 1 increase after doing all that, and then you go around for 2 rounds again. And then you do the same exact general premise where you make 2 of these, put them together, and then you decrease 3 stitches every single round until you taper it down into 6 stitches. So I already created one of my sides, and now I'm going to show you how I do the other side for this heart. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to create a magic ring. Again, my styles of doing a magic ring are a little bit different. I'm also dyslexic, so I learned in a reverse kind of way. So if this is not your style, don't worry, it will still work with your style of crochet. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to create my version of a magic ring. I have a full blown Crochet 101 playlist where I explain how I do that, but generally I just kind of chain 2 and then I work into my first chain. So chain 1, I make them nice and loose so that I can go back inside of them, and 2, and then I skip my second stitch that I just did there, my second chain, and I'm going to go back into my very first one like so. And now we're going to put 6 single crochet inside of that 1 stitch. 2, going back inside. It's okay if this opens up, you can tighten it up later. 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is nice and wide, so let's just tighten that up a little bit, make it nice and closed. And what we're going to do next is we're going to start working in the round, and we're going to turn all these 6 stitches, and we're going to increase every single one of them. So we're going to go and put 2 stitches inside every single one of these stitches all the way around. So go inside our first stitch, 1, 2, next stitch, the second stitch, 1, oh, not split our yarn, let's fix that. There we go, 1, and 2, our third stitch, 1, 2, fourth stitch, 1, 2, fifth stitch, 1, going back inside, 2, and you can see that there's 2 stitches within that single stitch right there, and then sixth stitch, 1 and 2. Now if you are doing the size small, this is where you finish, and then you go around 2 rounds. So basically we're just going to single crochet around for 2 more rounds. If you are doing the large size, let me get in focus here, you're going to do another increase round where you single crochet 1 and increase, and then you go around for 2 rounds. So you just have an extra step for that. But again, we're working on the size small today, and right now we are at 12. So what I'm going to do actually here is I'm going to move my tail and use it as a stitch marker. I'm going to move that forward just to let myself know where I've gone, and I'm going to start single crocheting around. I'm also working through front loop only. That will probably be somebody in the comments that will question that. I think that it makes the stitches look bubblier, but you don't have to do that. If you work through both of your loops, this will still work just the same. I just like how it looks more. I also pull from left to right instead of right to left. Again, dyslexia. That's how I learned, and that's how it stuck, and I think that my amigurumi is bubblier for it, so I just kind of committed to it. And right now we're just going to single crochet around all 12 of these stitches until we get to the end of our 2 rounds of just single crocheting around. I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this part. Alright, so assuming that you, this is your first one that you just crocheted, you're going to slip stitch off and then just let it sit over here. But now that we've made our second one, we are going to actually take this and we're going to attach and single crochet across both of them. I have fairly unique ways that I do that, so I'm going to show you how I do it. However you do it is however you want to do it. But here where I've slip stitched off, I have this bump here and then I have this underside of the stitch. In order to make it so that there's not this big gap here, I like to put my hook through this part here and then swoop down and pick up that second piece. This will make it so that it seems like it's all one piece, and I'm going to do the same on the opposite side as soon as I get over here. So we're going to pull our tail, and I'm actually going to work with my tail for my slip stitch side, and I'm going to work with that as if it is a piece of my work for the next 6 stitches. So that was my first stitch, and here's my second stitch of that row, third stitch, fourth stitch, keeping my tail underneath my stitches just to kind of keep it, I don't know, so it doesn't untangle and stuff. It makes it a bit more secure, and 6. So I'm going to tug on my tail, and then now that I've done 6 stitches, I'm going to take that tail and I'm going to kind of, well, I'm going to cut it a little shorter. I made it way too long. And that can go on my yarn mill end bin, and then I'm going to kind of just take my tail and stuff it on the inside of the heart. A little extra stuffing. There we go. So I have 6 more stitches left on this round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now here, if you don't do this the way that I did this, you could end up with a big giant gap. So what I do is something similar to what I did earlier, where I go to the underside of that stitch right here, so it's kind of active, and then this one is where a stitch has been in already, so I go into that one and then I weasel it into the very first stitch of what I should be single crocheting into. So I'm going to put my yarn and pull through all 3 of those, then I kind of tug it like that, and then I pull through nice and loose. That way it's a nice jogless, there's no giant hole. It looks a lot worse if I don't do it that way. And then this is the second stitch, and we're going to continue on to the rest of these stitches. So 3rd, 4th, we should have 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that is what I actually count as, I've been posting it, I'm sure, down on the thing, but that is basically my 5th round that I just finished doing, the combining the 2 of them together. So this was starting magic ring 1, row 1, increase 2, 3 and 4, single crochet around, and then I single crocheted around the entire thing. That was round 5. So now we're on round 6. I'm actually going to take my tail from earlier, and again I'm going to move that forward to here, so that I can keep track of where my new rows basically begin. So this is the start of a new round. We're now on round 6. We have 24 stitches, and our goal is to get this down to 6 stitches. We are going to be decreasing. I'm going to move that over here because Henrietta does not need any polyfill in her. I've got so much fluff going around. Basically, your goal is to decrease 3 stitches every single round. The way that I do that is I'm going to stagger them. So how I would usually do this before would just say, okay, well, I've got 24 stitches, divide that by 3. So that becomes 8 stitches, an 8 stitch repetition to get it so that I can get it down to 3. So that would mean that I would single crochet 6 and decrease, because that the decrease counts as 2 and then the 6 counts up to 8 basically. So I'm hoping this makes sense. But because I'm going to stagger them, the row single crochet 6 decrease then turns into single crochet 3 decrease single crochet 3. Again, I explained my staggering situation much better down below, but essentially all we're doing is single crocheting 3, decreasing, and then single crocheting 3. And that makes it so that the increases don't all line up. 1, 2, and 3. And the way that I decrease is actually putting my hook inside the first stitch, and then into the next one I'd go through front loop only, so that makes it nice and easy, and then I single crochet the 2 of them together as if they are 1 stitch, and then 1, 2, and 3. Now we do a repeat of 1, oops, go through the entire stitch, 1, 2, 3, decrease the 2 of them together, and then 1, 2, 3. And you do the same exact thing essentially for the bigger heart, except I believe you start out with single crochet 5, decrease single crochet 5, and you're alternating your staggering as well with that. So again, the screenshot will be up on the screen there, obviously. So 1, 2, 3, decrease, so these 2 stitches go together like so, and then 1, 2, 3. We're going to move our tail along again just to make it so that I can keep track of where I am, and that was row 6, and now we're on row 7. I don't tend to stuff until I get closer to the bottom, so we're going to do a couple more rounds before I start stuffing. Here, we're not going to stagger because we're on an odd number, so we are going to be single crocheting 5 and decreasing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decrease these 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. That was row 7. Now we are going on to row 8, and it gets faster as you go down because obviously you have less stitches that you have to worry about. And I have polyfill just everywhere. That's what happens when you put just a big old fluff of polyfill on the desk. My bad. There we go. Let's fix that. So now we are on row 8, and we're going to do again the staggering. So we just did single crochet 5 decrease. So if you weren't going to stagger, you would just single crochet 4 decrease, but because 4 is an even number, we're going to single crochet 2 decrease, single crochet 2. So single crochet 1 and 2, decrease, 1 and 2. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, and our last one is 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2. And so here we only have 2 more rounds of decreases, so I'm going to actually stuff a little bit here. I'm going to move my tail forward again, just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to actually take some polyfill. And what I like to do is I like to ball it in between my hands like so, and then I'm going to kind of push it into the peak of each of my hearts, like so. Kind of rolling it inside as I go. Actually, I only need like half that. It's very small, so you don't need a lot. Kind of just roll it in there. I like to get the big part in at least before my next round. And I always cup onto going outward, and then I fill in the sides, so don't worry about that. And you can focus on the middle if you want, or if you really want your peaks to be kind of nice, you can do that. It all depends on how you shape it. I hate stuffing. It is my least favorite part of amigurumi. Many people who are on my channel know that that's not my favorite part of amigurumi. I know a lot of people it's their favorite because it makes their work take shape, but for some reason I'm terrible at shaping. I'm good at crocheting. I'm very analytical when it comes to my work, and I like to say, okay, well, I know that this shape will turn into this if I work this, but stuffing is a whole different way of thinking for me, so I can't even wrap my brain around it. All right, so now we're on row 9, and what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 3 and decrease. Again, we're not staggering because it's an odd row, like an odd number between decreases, basically. So 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2. Try not to get your polyfill into your stitches, or else it's just gonna look funky. I'm terrible at that too. 3. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I'm doing that right. I lost track. Then 1, 2, 3, and decrease. Here I like to take my tail out because I no longer really need it. This is my last round, and what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to decrease every single stitch. We have 12 stitches left on our work, and my tail doesn't really need to be involved with that. I just kind of count my stitches, and if it's 6, then I cut it off and I call it good. All right, so here we're going to put this there, and then we're going to take our final ball and kind of just shove it in there. I like to kind of roll it in on itself so that it kind of has to be smooth. And then pretty much I'm going to work on row 10, which is just decreasing every single stitch. We have 12 stitches right now, and we're going to just get that down to 6. So 1, 2, and this is the second one. 1, 2. Third, 1, 2. Fourth, 1, 2. Fifth, 1, 2. And sixth, 1, 2. All right, so we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches left. It's still technically open, so what do? We're going to cut our tail, and we're going to pull our yarn through our loop. We're going to take our darning needle, and here we are going to take our darning needle from the back and through to the front of each of these stitches. So we're going to go through from the back to the front once, then again in the next stitch, in the third stitch, in the fourth stitch, in the fifth stitch, and finally this last stitch right here, 6. And technically that's still open, and don't close it yet. I put my darning needle through the center and then through the side, and then I kind of tug on it slowly but firmly, and careful not to snap your yarn. And I tend to also try to put my needle in through and kind of poke it outwards so that it has this nice shape about it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So depending on how you want it to look, oh, I don't want the polyfill coming through the side. There we go. That's pretty much it. That's how we make our nice little Valentine's Day heart. And you do the same exact thing for the larger version. You just basically upscale how many stitches you're going around. It's the same general premise, it's the same idea, but that's pretty much the difference between these two. This one I actually wound up going around 3 times before I attached them. So each of these had, instead of the 3 through 4, they had 3 through 5. So if you were curious about how much larger it would look if you did an extra round or 2 on this, that's essentially what happens. You end up with just a slightly taller little heart. But this is his little buddy, and I'm really excited with how he turned out. And I am hopefully going to be giving these to a friend or her kiddo to do some Valentine's Day crafts with. I'm actually really excited about that too. Alright, so again, we have a PDF for this pattern. It will be free for the first week. You can get that down below, and you can use the velvet yarn if you would like to use some velvet yarn. We're going to be working on a little whale, which will have a left-handed component to it as well, so that's why I'm redoing the whale video. If you have any ideas about things that you would like to see redone but in a left-handed manner that I've had on my channel before, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about these hearts, or just generally, you know, just say hi. It helps the algorithm, it helps me out, it helps out the channel, so you can get chatty down below. I do tend to try to reply to as many comments as I can, so there's that. We also have Discord links and TikTok links and all kinds of fun stuff down below, so if you would like to see those, you can go down below. I would like to say thank you for watching this video, and before you go, I would like to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. Without your support, we would not be able to grow as a channel, so thank you for your generous pledges. If you're interested in supporting this channel, go to patreon.com/knit, and you can see the different rewards we offer our patrons there: free patterns, early access to tutorials, and more. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell before you leave if you want to be notified when our cute little whale video goes up, and if you want to see more videos like this. All right, until next time, guys. Bye.